joining me. Today, I will be discussing the story of a unique NFL athlete who most sports fans probably wouldn't know of. When you think of professional athletes, names such as LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Tom Brady come to mind. Not many people would say the name Jake Locker, and that's why I'm here to tell you his story. Today, I will be discussing his collegiate success and failure, how his NFL career had some ups and downs, how he persevered through multiple injuries and showed some incredible endurance and resilience, and how his post-football life allows him to still have an impact on today's society. Locker was born and raised in Ferndale, Washington, where he attended Ferndale High School. In his senior season with the Eagles, throwing for 25 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, he led the Eagles to their only undefeated season and state championship. For his efforts, he was named the Level 3A Player of the Year in the state of Washington, and according to 24/7 Sports, was a highly recruited prospect with offers from schools such as USC, Stanford, and Oregon, before deciding to attend the University of Washington. According to Flemlo Reps, in 2007, after sitting out 2 years, he made his debut, and against Oregon State, unfortunately, he injured his neck and had to be carted off the field. And in both cases, that would be a season and possibly career-threatening injury. However, after a short visit to the hospital, Locker returned before the game ended with a neck brace to support his team. This is just one example of the resiliency and endurance that he was able to show in his collegiate career. The following season, injuries would take a toll on him again as he would tear his hamstring and miss all but 3 of his games. When he returned, it didn't last long. He injured his thumb and his season was over. While all this was going on, the Washington Huskies did not win a single game, and their head coach was fired. Steve Sarkisian was brought in to replace the head coach and immediately turned Locker's career around. With Sarkisian, Locker was able to lead the Huskies to their first winning season in 8 seasons, including a monumental upset over the number 3 overall USC Trojans, which Locker saw as a positive result for all that he had been through in his career. Before arriving at Washington, his father taught him to leave Washington better than he had left it, and Locker used this as motivation to finish strong and turn Washington into a powerhouse from the laughingstock it was. He achieved his goal. Again, first winning season in 8 seasons for Washington, capped out with a Holiday Bowl win in 2010 against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. After the win, Locker declared for the NFL draft, and as one chapter closed, another one opened for Jake Locker. But yet again, he continued to face adversity on and off the field. Locker would be selected in the first round for the 2011 draft by the Tennessee Titans and face the pressures and expectations of a first-round pick. Once drafted, his rookie season, he only played 5 games, throwing for 4 touchdowns. However, according to Wikipedia, in 2012, he played 11 games, but his season was cut short yet again, as he was carted off the field against the New York Jets with a hip injury. He did throw 2,200 yards, however. But returning in November, his season would end yet again after injuring his foot. And these injuries started to pile up. The next 2 seasons, he only played 14 games. And would eventually injure both his wrist and shoulder to end yet another season. In total, he only played in 30 NFL games compared to the first overall pick, Cam Newton, who's played in over 120 and led his team to the Super Bowl. The first overall pick in 2011, Newton, has played in 14 straight or more games every season since he got to the league. see, injuries have cost Locker in his career, yet some notable players were drafted after him who have made a significant impact. Two examples are J.J. Watt and Richard Sherman, who have both made at least 5 Pro Bowls in their career. Since Locker's NFL future was in jeopardy, he was contemplating retirement. And when he did, he decided to retire, and his decision shocked many, largely because of the unique reasoning behind it. According to Blake Harper, while with the Tennessee Titans, Locker was mentored by a 14-year veteran quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck. Locker had been battling with alcohol addiction since college. Hasselbeck knew this and wanted to help to turn his life around. He decided to invite Locker and his wife to a retreat in Orlando, and Hasselbeck used it as a way to turn his alcohol addiction into a life of faith. He did so by introducing him to a Christian hip-hop artist named Lecrae, who, according to Greg Bishop, Locker immediately had a connection with. Locker was not very religious growing up. He attended some Catholic services, but he never really had a strong faith. But according to Bishop, Locker was connected with Lecrae, who had a life growing up around guns and gangs. Quote, to quote Bishop, after becoming successful, the pressure to keep it real overwhelmed him till he decided to end his double life. Internal conflicts he faced seemed to mirror Locker's, end quote. He began to realize that he was no longer himself, and that he was just trying to live up to an image that others had made of him and wanted him to become. This message inspired both Jake and his wife, and both of them would end up being baptized with Hasselbeck watching on the side. And that moment, Locker says, is, quote, why I can sit here today and say I'm an extremely happy man, unquote. After announcing his retirement, Locker returned to his hometown of Ferndale, got married, raised some kids, and is now involved in the local community. He has played in some local softball leagues. He bought a farm and is now raising cattle and chicken. He is now the co-owner of a local gym, and he's involved with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He has also provided some speeches around the country to share his story and inspire others. Locker had a unique career, largely plagued by injuries. However, his story of perseverance and never giving up on yourself was one that I took to heart. I hope his story helps you to realize that at the end of the day, what's best for you is what's best, and that you are what's most important. Again, thank you and have a good day.